In America, as a pregnant mama, you've been told of lots of fun things to do to prepare for baby. Registry showers, picking out a car seat or a stroller. Hopefully you've been guided with some self-care, prenatal yoga, taking your folate. And while these things are important, there's often one critical missing piece that we see over and over again. And that has to do with the health of your nervous system. Because your nervous system not only controls every cell, every organ, every tissue in your body, but it controls the same for your developing baby. And while a lot of people understand chiropractic for taking care of themselves during, say, the third trimester when baby's getting bigger and their posture's changing, and it helps mama be as comfortable as possible, they understand that chiropractic can help have a good aligned pelvis so baby can come through as smoothly as possible during labor and delivery. The one piece that most people don't realize chiropractic can really help with is the health of mama's nervous system. So in this video, I want to explain why that is so important and help you understand that your nervous system not only helps you have a better pregnancy, but it sets your baby up for success as well. First, I want to share the story of Danielle. She came to see us just 2 months ago at 10 weeks pregnant, and she was excited because she thought, I am worried that as baby gets bigger, I'm going to be uncomfortable. She had had an accident a couple years prior where she needed a ankle and a knee surgery, and she wanted to make sure things were lined up to have a healthy baby. Well, the biggest benefit she actually started to notice now as she's a couple months into care went beyond just how she was feeling physically. It actually had to do with how she was feeling mentally and emotionally. Because previously, she had had a lot of anxiety and stress. She had had 2 miscarriages just last year. As a kid, she had suffered from complex PTSD, and she complained of having always sweaty hands. And she is actually a mental health therapist, so she's like, I know sweaty hands are a sign of stress response in my body, but all the therapies I've tried, all the strategies from tapping to vagal nerve stimulation to acupuncture, they just haven't changed anything. I'm still feeling stressed. I'm still feeling anxious. Fast forward a couple months into care, and she is feeling more calm and more regulated than she has felt in years. The reason is, and I'm going to show you scans here, what we found is her nervous system was stuck in a state of stress, specifically in a state of sympathetic dominance, because she couldn't activate a key part of her nervous system called the vagus nerve. You can see at the top of her neck here, those colored bars indicate stress in the area of her nervous system, where the vagus nerve lies, that actually act as a brake pedal to bring us down from stress. So what was happening is while she wanted to feel calm and grounded, she often felt stressed and stuck. Now, the exciting thing is her nervous system started to regulate, is the impact that's going to have on her developing baby. When a mama becomes pregnant, baby's nervous system is one of the very first things to turn on. Around 3 to 4 weeks post-conception, the nervous system starts to develop. First, it's going to grow the organs and the glands and all the things inside, and then it's going to start to add some of the outside things like muscles or skin or hair or nails. And what is happening as baby's nervous system is growing in utero, it's also starting to wire for how to deal with the world, because our nervous system, its job is to take in what's going on around us and tell us how to respond. If it's perceiving stress around us, it tells our body to respond with stress. It triggers the sympathetic fight-flight response. This is specifically the hypothalamus tells the pituitaries, tells the adrenals to fire out the stress hormones. So you've probably heard of something like cortisol or adrenaline. Those are stress hormones created by the adrenal glands in response to stress. And what do they do in our body is they flood us with stress chemistry. They raise our heart rate. They cause our palms to be sweaty. They open up our eyes, and they cause tension and anxiety often to build inside. If that stress chemistry doesn't clear out easily and quickly, it stays built up, and now we start to, in a sense, bathe ourselves with these stress chemicals over and over and over again. That's where chronic inflammation comes into play. Digestive troubles, poor sleep, insomnia, weak immune system, all these are signs of a nervous system that's stuck in stress mode. So Of course, it's important for you to feel calmer and more grounded, but what about your baby? See, we think of the umbilical cord as something that carries the blood, and we want to avoid things like toxins. We have BPA-free water bottles. We avoid being next to someone who's smoking a cigarette. We try to limit the toxins we're putting in our body because we know that helps clean up our blood. And if you're a pregnant mama, you want your baby to be as healthy as possible and have as few toxins as possible. What we forget, though, is we think of in our office the umbilical cord almost like the power cord. It's carrying not only the blood supply and chemicals, but it's carrying all the hormones and all the other stress responses that mom's having. So if mom is feeling calm and grounded, baby starts to be surrounded by that environment. If, however, mom is feeling stressed, anxious, nervous, now baby early on, even in utero, starts to feel that same chemistry. So by helping mom do better, it allows that chronic stress that she might be under to start to dissipate and not impact baby so much. And in today's day and age, we know that chronic stress is a factor for everyone. I remember when my wife was pregnant, one of the biggest challenges she had as running her own business was she was trying to prep to be able to step out of her business for several months and have it still run. So she was working around the clock during pregnancy to try to set things up. As a result, our son didn't have as much calm chemistry that he was bathed in as we would have hoped for. And maybe you're a mom with your first baby and you're worried about how things are going. You're going to each doctor visits and each checkup and you're wondering, is baby okay? Is baby okay? Maybe you have a few kids at home already and you're already trying to rush around and keep up with them. And the pace of today's life often indicates the stress chemistry our bodies feel. And that's where we help come in, is to allow your nervous system to still have a busy environment, but not let that stress impact you internally. So the two scans that we measure specifically for how a body is handling stress are the scan I just showed you before, where in Danielle's case there was a lot of stress up top preventing her braking system from being able to calm her nervous system down. And then the second scan we do is heart rate variability. And what this scan is almost like your Whoop or Oura Ring or Apple Watch when it's measuring how much stress you're under. If it's sounding the alarms, you better slow down today because you've been going strong for too long. So heart rate variability gives us an idea, is there more gas pedal or more brake pedal? Is your battery charged and ready to go? Or is your battery depleted that by the time baby comes, you're going to be already running on fumes? And we know that a newborn baby takes a lot of energy. So we want to be able to charge your battery up as much as possible if we find it depleted. So as we sum things up here, if you look back to where Danielle was, I want you to know that pregnancy doesn't have to be 9 months of stress and anxiety and worries and wonders. It can actually be an incredibly empowering experience, and that's what we love to support women with in our office. We want to make sure, yes, things are lined up and that you're comfortable, that baby has plenty of room for labor and delivery to come out smoothly. And most importantly, we want to make sure your nervous system is firing on all cylinders, that it's managing stress the best it can. So not only do you feel better, but you're setting baby up for success as well. So reach out if you have any questions. If you'd like to see what those scans look like for yourself, we're happy to help.